Today's Mob Rules brought to you by Getting Good. Get good. Is this when we kind of transition into the other assets that we have on our list here?
Yeah, let's transition to the other assets.
Hey, this is Mob Rules. Obviously, apologies for the strange, unusual sounds.
Yeah.
The difference in the intro. Things are a little changed in episode 76. I am John, joined by
Dave.
and for the first time coherently or conceptually. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah.
Coherently works.
Coherently works too. Is Danny, who's going to be taking over our third chair on the Mob Rules podcast. Welcome, Danny.
Thanks. I really like being a third wheel.
As you should. So, like, before we get started here, let's kind of go over some things, guys. It's like,
Okay.
I mean, it's like your parents
wrap.
divorced. So we're gonna sit down with the kids. We're gonna kind of explain how things are gonna be a little bit now,
John,
and then all of our kids are gonna leave us.
now that
Is this my fault?
now that Ted's gone, is Daddy the other woman?
I'm not calling Danny a host. He's always a guest to me. No, so Mob Rules, as we said last episode, sticking around. Dave and I spent the past couple weeks kind of going over what we wanted to do, how we wanted to go forward, and we kind of decided we were going to do kind of like a reboot.
Yeah. I like to think of it as a second edition.
Yeah, second edition Mob Rules. So that's why kind of we're trying out a new theme. Might not stick. We'll see.
You know,
we're going to try out some different kind of things. We're going to focus a little bit more on the gaming side of it, because I think over the past 3 years we've done a lot of lore and a lot of good stuff on lore.
it's getting hard to come up with more lore to do, actually.
Oh, I mean,
Unless they
it's
giving us more.
It's endless. It's like 30 years of lore. But at the same time, with Danny, who's a top 3 demon player and owns like pretty much every army. You're top 3 now, right?
I'm I think I'm number 2 right now.
Right, in the ITC, which is kind of like
As of today.
Wow.
which is 4 days ago.
Right.
So
Yeah.
he's a top ranked competitive player. Dave, I know you and I are starting to kind of get into that environment.
Yeah, I'm totally a competitive player.
I guess we're trying to get into it for the fun.
I'd
side
actually
of
be
it.
lowest ranked
Really?
as Stardust player. I've got one tournament under my belt all year.
I mean, there's a lot of bad players. I'm just gonna put it that way.
All right, so I'm a middle ranked.
So yeah, middle ranked and then a low ranked. So while it's not going to be like 100% a competitive podcast, there's going to be talks about game, how units perform on the table. I was thinking of even like doing a Getting Good with Danny segment where, you know, it'd be like little kid Muppet style music.
Yeah.
Stupid stuff like that. So like,
I'm hoping to get good with Danny.
yeah.
Everybody hopes to get good with me.
But at the same time, we are definitely not leaving the lore behind. I know we're talking about Watchers of the Throne, kind of talking about that book going on, as well as some of the other Black Library books that are coming out. The other thing we want to talk about is Sigmar and Chill. It lasted all of 2 episodes. And then just constant technical problems with it, which is entirely my fault. But with second edition Mob Rules comes second edition Age of Sigmar. And Sigmar is going to be wrapped into the content of the podcast. So this is, if we lose a lot of you on this, I apologize. But Dave and I are huge fans of Age of Sigmar. Danny, too, you're a big fan of the Age of Sigmar system.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
So
It's a great system.
Our focus is going to expand out beyond just 40k to specialist games, to kind of Age of Sigmar.
Oh, Titanicus. I can't wait.
Titanicus looks amazing.
Dude, I'm super stoked about that.
And while all of these things are 40k adjacent, I kind of want to create an environment where, like, if GW releases something, that I want to be able to talk about it. Especially with the quality of the models that are coming out right now.
Yeah, I was sad with our previous edition that we couldn't have an open discussion about Age of Sigmar because, you know, we got into it towards the tail end.
Which was understandable, though. You know, we were trying to make everything kind of very precise. But I know kind of from our Twitters, Dave, that there's a lot of people who like Age of Sigmar out there now.
Yeah.
So we're definitely, like I said, we're opening up Mob Rules is now through many realms and times and kind of generally anything Games Workshop is fair game now on.
Would you say the focus now is more Games Workshop generic?
Yeah, it would be. We're
Kind of-
the Ultramarines of podcasts.
Oh,
Or the
joy.
And there goes our last 8
Sorry,
listeners.
yeah,
Thanks for still listening, Mom.
So like I said, we're now GW generic, where like pretty much anything goes. I would like to think, even if you're not a huge Age of Sigmar fan, some of the chats and talks we'll have won't push you away and will apply to 40k, because I think now, especially that the games are pretty similar rules wise, and I think when we go to second edition Age of Sigmar, it's going to be really similar rules wise.
I mean, we don't know. It could be back to units and blocks
back
and
to rank
square
and
bases, which
They got to sell those tree bases from the Scenery pack.
Man.
But that's kind of our hope, is that it works for both. Hopefully tactics will work for both. If you just like 40k and you know nothing of Age of Sigmar, I hope that some of these episodes can be a gateway to you for that system and for some of those armies. And then the flip side, if you like Age of Sigmar or you just like hearing us bullshit, that we can be a gateway to 40k for you guys too. So that's kind of, our manifesto right now, Dave.
Yeah.
Is just
kind of do a little bit of everything.
a little bit of everything. I'm going to work on making sure that we have show notes now because of this.
Right.
Because like I said, I understand not everyone likes Age of Sigmar. Not everyone likes some of the specialist games. So
Most people are wrong. So
So yeah, go away. So what I want to be able to do is give people the option to not listen to those parts.
Yep.
So that's kind of my promise to you guys, is that you will get to not listen to those if you don't want them, and we'll make it super easy for you to kind of skip by those.
Hopefully.
But don't.
Yeah. Take a listen.
Yeah, take a listen.
I mean, there's going to be just as many dick jokes as there always was in there.
You're just painting anyway. I mean, does it really matter what's in the background? We're not an episode of The Office on Netflix.
Yeah.
Or Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Yeah, so good.
Oh, man.
Maybe
It's
we'll
my
become
favorite.
a Parks and Rec review show. We'll like have a segment of things to watch in the background.
Every episode we can talk about one episode of Parks and Rec.
Remember that time that he was that Chris was in the pit and that they got
That was like season
He
one.
broke his legs.
just got into Parks and Rec. She was watching it all Mother's Day. That she was like, I'm watching Parks and Rec.
It's so good.
Have you watched it, Dave?
Oh, of course. I've seen
Okay,
all
sorry.
of it.
Sorry. I'm
All right.
I'm just I don't mean to get on a fun tangent here, but
Yeah, I said Chris Pratt instead of the right character name, but yeah. No, I've totally watched all of it.
Yeah.
Done a lot of painting to it.
It works.
Yeah.
Dave, anything else you want to add to kind of that there?
Well, I mean, as we move into Marvel's 2.0, we lost Ted, and he was a large contributor to the YouTube channel. I will be doing try to make some of that stuff up, and you know what, I'm looking for advice as to what you guys kind of want to see. You know, right now I'm doing Tabletop Plus,
want-
and not stripping, John.
Our-
I told you that already.
Hour-long painting tutorials about how to do pro level like paint jobs on
Sweet.
$8,000 models.
I've seen Danny paint, so I'm I'm just gonna go to his house and record him painting.
But not
please
tell
don't.
him. Just
Yeah.
through the window.
so either a big plus or a big minus. I usually don't wear pants when I paint, so
Well, you don't want to ruin your pants when you spill Null oil on them. That makes perfect sense.
sure, that's the reason I do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll keep that going.
But yeah, I mean, I'm not going to be able to crank out Masterclass Ted 2 hour and 2.5 hour videos. But you know, if you got something that you want me to do, that we'll do it. You know,
Yeah.
I'll sit down and do it. We've been talking about doing a little bit more bat reps.
Yeah,
Throwing
we've
them
been
up there.
talking about doing some Shadespire, and this kind of all goes into us being more Games Workshop generic, doing more Shadespire, doing some Necromunda. I
Yep.
know there's a bunch of guys locally who are going to
yeah.
start playing that I'm going to, bog down and film, and mainly kind of like, I guess, working our skill set up to 40k and kind of starting with those smaller specialist games.
Right.
So like I said, I know we're looking to film some Shadespire, film some Necromunda. I think there's kind of a lot of good stuff there.
I wish I'd filmed that game we played this last week.
Yeah, I'm glad we didn't. Yeah, you cheated so hard.
I wish I had.
You had a 12-point advantage. But yeah, we're looking at doing that. We're looking at doing some gaming, some video game stuff, like some me versus Dave on Space Hulk.
I can't wait for that. That's where he's going to get his revenge from beating it.
Well, the old school Space Hulk, which is essentially like the board game, but prettier. So we have a ton
Do I
of
have to get an
ideas.
old school computer to play it?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right.
So you go.
If anybody's got an old IBM
IBM,
360 or whatever they were called,
I think it's
Mail
a
it
little
here.
bit.
I think
So
yeah.
it's
A little
It
bit
was
more
on
advanced than that.
ColecoVision. Is that what system it was?
I don't know, Dave. I'm not that old.
Yeah.
I am.
Yeah, you are. But yeah, so we're the
Dippo got that reference.
at the moment for the YouTube stuff, we're throwing shit against the wall and see what sticks. I am trying to swear less, which I just noticed I'm doing a terrible job at.
Yeah, you are.
But yeah, that's something that I'm looking to do as well. Is be maybe a little less foul over the air. So that if you're listening,
Is
in
Dick
your
still okay,
cubicle-
though?
I mean, no.
Do I have to tell him what if
Richard jokes.
what if so like purple dog rocket? We can call
maybe-
him
maybe
that.
I mean, don't
could
describe
talk-
your paint jobs like that, man. They look good.
Damn it!
You could talk about your fireman.
I gotta
Yeah,
learn.
fireman. But yeah,
I'm gonna have a tabletop plus on how to not have wash pool. So anybody that's needs help with that, it's a skill I probably
that was an in joke locally. I want to explain this
Yeah.
here. Dave posted up a picture of his baby night.
It's on Twitter too. If you
It's
guys
on Twitter
follow me.
too, and he put it on our Marples page. We were joking earlier about whenever either of us post anything, we see it 4 times in 4 different mediums. But he posted a picture up of his baby night and said, "Oh, almost done, work in progress, yay!" And then, like, I think the first reply
That's
was,
exactly how I sounded.
"Yeah, because you were really tired, 'cause you're an old man."
Yeah.
But like,
Word.
the first reply was just like, "Are you going to do anything about the wash that's pooling?" And you're like, I could tell you with your gritted teeth being like, yes, it's a work in progress.
You know what? You know that WIP? That's what that means. What you're seeing there is a work in progress, sir.
I thought it was wash in pool.
Yeah. Washing cold. I was going to say like wimpy, impotent penis.
Oh,
Jonathan.
keep it clean, sir.
I used the medical terminology,
pretty
which
good.
makes it fine.
Yeah, because most doctors will tell you you have a wimpy, impotent penis. Sir, what's wrong?
I go to a doc, bro.
Yo, dude. So here's the deal.
So, bro, checking your balls? Yeah. Gay. I'm just going to...
So shall we start off with
Just scratching out family friendly.
Yeah,
right there.
It's gone.
It's gone.
I will try to keep the video's monetization profitable.
Yeah,
move
Dave.
The podcast
Save us, Dave.
into
You're
an-
our only hope.
it's,
But yeah, that's pretty much where we're at with the show and kind of where we're going to go.
Yeah.
As always, please let us know what you think. I really appreciated all you guys who gave us feedback when we asked on Twitter. You're like, hey, what you guys like? What you not like? Some people didn't like that we talked over the WA. So obviously the only way to fix that was to get rid of the WA.
yeah.
Yeah.
Suck
yeah.
on that, Guildenstern.
Yeah. Thank you for the feedback. Who else wants to give feedback? But yeah, I guess let's just kind of move right on, and we'll talk about kind of what we've been up to.
Yeah.
So Dave, well, what have you been up to?
Well,
in the all realms.
Since I came back, I've been pretty much just hobbied out because I was 24/7 hobby leading right up to leaving because I had to make sure that everything was done. But in the last week, you conned me into playing a game of 40K.
Sir, we had a podcast meeting.
Yeah.
It just seemed appropriate to do it over a 40K table.
Yeah, he was like, hey, do you want to come over and have a podcast meeting? I was like, yes, I do. We should talk about where we're going to go with this. Cool. Why don't you bring like 1,500 points or something? But maybe if we have time, we'll play a game.
No, I was planning on playing you 2,000 points, but like you were like, I don't want to play a super competitive game. That
It does sound like
how
me,
you
actually.
sounded.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, 1,500.
So I dug out the baby night, came over, thought we were going to have show notes and stuff. Table was already set up. John was already deployed. He was like, let's do this. I was like, all right.
Here I set you in this side with no terrain.
Yeah. I had terrain, but it doesn't matter when your opponent has supersonic jets that just fly past it to shoot you.
I must say, Crimson Hunters are my jam. I enjoy that. How far does that travel? And you're just like, enough.
Yes. I didn't ask how far it travels. I said, how far do you have to move again?
Oh, that's the thing that surprised people about Crimson Hunters, Danny. And I know I saw this at a tournament as well. Is they were like, wait, it only has to move 20 inches? You're like,
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I did
That's
the
it.
same thing. I was like, 20 inches. That doesn't sound right.
Because
Because it doesn't have to go further.
I know,
than
like, I zoomed like one end of the board to the other, and then like measured out, and I saw it was like 33 inches away from your tanks.
Yeah.
So I just moved forward 20. Like,
with some amazing synergy you were pulling off over there, with -1s to hit and camo cloaks inside buildings.
Marlboro Second Edition will still use the word synergy instead of bullshit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Good replacement.
Yeah, it's good.
But you have to say it. We have to say it with absolute
loathing. I did
Oh, it was
cheat
such
you,
a-
though. I did cheat you.
Well, I mean, technically, my list cheated you because I had the wrong thing picked for to be able to take the baby knight. But
It's only -1 to hit for Rangers. They only get the Alatok. Or no, -2. Right,
If they're
Danny?
over 12.
If they're over 12 and in ruins.
yeah,
I
No, the ruins
misread.
doesn't matter.
Oh, no. Over 12 is just -1.
And then Rangers are naturally also -1 to hit.
Yeah. So they're -2, but they're not -3 for ruins. They
son
add
of a
2 to their
bitch.
save. I had addition fatigue.
yeah.
That's what it
So,
was.
it's
Addition fatigue.
Still lost. It's fine.
It made for an amazing 48 dice looking for 6s, coming up with 3. So
Oh, it was so much fun. I went through the picture and saw how many 5-year-old and then shut the fuck up.
That's amazing.
that's okay. I made up for it by rolling 6s when I needed to.
Oh, man,
On
yeah.
every
It
goddamn
was so
feel no
good.
pain save to keep my dudes alive.
I mean, like I said, and something I've talked to Danny about before is like now I'm like post-gaming myself and kind of talking over what I did to see how I can do better. But I'm banned from using the phrase, but my dice. But times, man, is it so goddamn hard to not use that phrase.
I know exactly how you feel. It is so hard not to blame dice when like you feel like that caused you to lose. But like you have to get over it. Like all right, I can't change that stuff. There's nothing that I can do about that. So what can I do to better my game so that next time those dice won't matter?
Yeah.
Well,
So
I mean,
Dave,
in the case of this, those dice did matter because they were mine.
well, no. So see, in the case of this game, I'm kind of looking back on stuff. What I noticed is focus fire. I did not focus fire. I need to focus fire. I also
That's true. You didn't. You split fire a lot.
right, which is terrible for my list. I also, when I doomed things, I shot them with a bright lance. When I doom things, I should shoot them with dire avengers because it is hilarious and surprising.
See, now nobody can see this, but Danny's nodding like fucking anybody knows that. Scrub.
Well, see, and this is why I appreciate when I talk to Danny for advice and ideas. Is I roll things. I was like, yeah, it sounds good, but he doesn't tell me how to play the list. And then, like when I figure it out on my own, he's like a little proud parent clapping along, like, yeah,
A little golf clap.
yeah,
That's me.
good you.
Danny's
Also,
at your games with an iPad.
I mean, I've spent so long kind of like crapping on the baby knight as not being great and being overpointed and overcosted and stuff, but man, did it to work for you that game.
Yeah, well, it was fast as fudge.
Yeah, I like that.
They're pretty quick.
Good.
You're welcome. No, I mean 14 inches, and then I made a 12-inch charge when I needed to make a 10-inch charge. So
Right into the fire prism.
yeah, Cruz was just like, see you later, player.
No
I'm
big
out.
deal. Only 40 inches.
Yeah. That's oh shit, that was 40 inches. My bad.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, considering you were like, I'm gonna take the long. We're gonna play. What was the deployment on that one? That wasn't
Dawn of War?
Dawn of War.
No,
Yeah.
it was Hammer and Anvil.
Hammer and Anvil. Yeah.
But I rolled for you. Rolled
Garbage.
for it.
I didn't roll for. I rolled for mission. You picked. You got to pick the deployment because you placed the objectives last.
Yeah. Well, screw you.
FYI, you still have to roll for deployment. It just
We
says,
played a book mission.
Yeah, we just played a book
I know.
mission. No, it actually says pick the deployment
No,
zone.
it doesn't.
I'll trust Danny because he's.
Okay, fine.
You know what? I actually have to trust Danny.
I got cheated again.
Cheated in such a good way for your shooting army to be
if it-
further away.
Yeah, I was like,
If it was search and destroy, I would have won.
Yeah.
That's all I know. And I got tricked into picking the one that was beneficial to me.
God.
You played right into my hand
What a
from the
crime.
start. I mean, I did bring just like anti-infantry and 2 dreadnoughts with anti-infantry weaponry and 2 repulsors to shoot at your.
But that's
anything
good.
else.
Like I said, I kind of want to play against lists that I might not be necessarily great against.
I brought 9 models. It was the best I've ever
High
had.
toughness, high wound models.
Yeah.
Which I figure I should just do them and shoot it now.
One poor lieutenant that was the lowest toughness model on the game. Then you just almost nuked him in the first turn. and
Yeah,
then
I don't want
you-
to blame dice, but when 2 bright lances can't kill 1 Primaris lieutenant, there's issues.
Iron Hand 6 up save, Danny.
It was sad times.
Not for me. So anyway, I played a game with you. Kind of got reignited to play some more. I'm looking forward to the final Ultramar Cup, which is in the end of May.
Start of June.
And out at MJ's, right?
Out at MJ's.
I think I'm going to take that same garbage list that I used against you just for fun.
You should. It's pretty good.
I'm going to go play in that one, I think.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a better list than that one I'd used against you, I think. If Danny's playing.
No, I mean, it was good.
No, it was just a let's have fun list.
Man, that's going to be me.
Which is what it should be.
Right.
What else have you been up to?
I started painting the baby knight because he did mad work, and I figured he deserved a paint job.
Oh yeah, for sure. Did you remember to thin your washes?
I did thin the wash, and by that I mean I did not. I dipped straight from the pot right onto the model because
I just like pouring shit out on top
totally.
of it there.
Just cracked a little bit and like shook it with your hand.
Yeah, shook it right over there
like an incense shaker.
I have a style that I do for painting, and you know, on some stuff it's like that. Like I put wash over the whole model. I didn't have to. The carapace is off. I could have just easily done pin washing on it, but I'm lazy. All over wash and then clean up later is easier.
That's what I do. That's what I do too.
Yeah. So I'm gonna clean it up. It'll look good, and I'll get the wet palette out and get the blending on all the panels and get everything going. I only spilled Nuln 3 times since I started painting yesterday, so that's good. One of them was today. Went home before we recorded, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do a little bit of extra wash on the top just to work on some stuff. Brush flipped out of my hand. I was like, no, and I'm holding an open pot of Nuln oil, so I just shook it all over my desk. It's fine.
Nice.
That's what it is. Closed the Nuln oil up and just dipped in the.
Sounds like a party.
Yeah, this is a party.
And then that's one of our listeners picked me up the special Forge World white dwarf models.
Yeah, that's super cool.
For Blood Bowl. Russell, you're the best. Thank you.
But also you're not, because I don't have any. I don't play Blood Bowl, but still, I could.
I will.
Yeah, those Dark Owls.
Yeah.
We'll get into that later, but yeah.
Okay, sure. Yeah, sorry.
No, you're all good. You're all good.
Danny, I can't wait to beat the absolute piss out of you in Blood Bowl.
Cool.
Yeah. See.
And neither can he, because then he'll be playing Blood Bowl.
So that's what I've been up to. What about you, Danny? Yeah, newcomer to the podcast. I can't wait.
I've actually been really busy. I have been. So next weekend is our annual states competition. It's one of the biggest events that we have here. I think I saw a post today by our store owner saying that we had 35 people pre-signed up already.
Yeah, 35 people pre-signed, and I think room for 36 or 38 or something.
She said she's getting more tables.
I thought she said it was 40.
Yeah, I think she's up to 40. Maybe. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. Right?
I'm quoting you on that.
Okay, you can. I will deny that I ever said it.
# Danny said.
Yeah.
Dave does a really good Danny impression, so that's what I'm going to tell people.
You've been constructing that narrative for 3 years for a situation like this.
I've been kind of just like keeping that on the down low, telling people like, man, Dave does this Danny impression. That's really good. Anyway,
this explains so much. Do the Danny impression. What the hell are you talking about?
You called me last night at 3 a.m. and cursed me out.
Oh, is that Tyson? Because I do that. I actually do that.
So anyway, so with the states competition, one of the prerequisites is to paint your models. Now, I am not always the best at getting everything painted. It's something that I'd really like to try and work on, like continue as the year goes on. Like I really want to try and have like a couple of really nicely painted armies.
So you're, and I understand why you don't have fully painted armies on the regular is because you are such a theory crafter and changing up your army on the fly to switch up to different things. I actually understand why you show up sometimes without painted models because it's not required. And you're trying something new before you spend time painting it. And that makes perfect sense. So, you know, I get that. However, I've seen you paint.
I paint okay,
and you paint pretty good.
Yeah,
you paint better than a lot of people I've seen. So if you have a fully painted army going to states, you're gonna just look way better than a lot of other people's stuff.
I hope so. I kind of feel like I'm half-assing the basing a little bit, but.
If there
don't
was
half-ass
an area,
anything, you whole-ass stuff. You're part of mob rules now.
If there was an area that you're going to half-ass, like basing's kind of it, because you can kind of do like the little, like the GW like sand paint base, and like a little dry brush, and then good done.
Oh no, mine are. I guess they're more complicated.
Yeah, so there you go. Then you didn't half-ass the base.
You didn't half-ass it.
Okay,
half-ass is just
maybe
painting them brown.
Yeah,
because like right now I'm doing brown bait, like the brown sand from GW, two dry brushes.
Sorry, the GW actual GW sand.
Well, it's Sterling
The
Battlemire.
Sterling, yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's
So
super
not the actual like bucket of sand.
No, I actually. So now that they've come out with those like basing paints, I pretty much don't use sand on my model spaces anymore. It's
same here.
too
Yeah.
cool. It's just easier, and it's already like one layer of paint that I don't have to paint on there, which is awesome. So I'm doing the Battlemire over parts of the base, and then I'm painting the parts that I don't do that on Cabalite green, and then I'm spreading Nurgle's rot over that, the technical.
It already
So
sounds
makes,
like you're not half-assing anything.
Some slime trails, and then I have some tufts, which I'll talk about a little bit later in the show. Anyway, so I've been working on that. My Nurgle list is full of synergy.
Yeah, it is. Is it the same one you brought a couple tournaments ago?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
It's like
very
it's
synergistic.
exactly the same.
It's exactly the same.
Okay.
So
No tweaks.
nope. Oh,
How about twinks?
I made one tweak where I changed a relic on a model. That's it. That's the only thing I'm going to change.
Okay.
Otherwise, Warlord traits remaining the same. Everything else is going to be the same.
I mean, I'm looking forward to coming down and like checking out everybody's armies and getting some pictures and posting them up on the
Okay, cool.
Facebook page.
Yeah.
The models that I do take pictures of, I'd like to start posting those to like on like the Facebook feed.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah, I can get you in there.
Okay, cool.
That's super
It
easy.
only takes one hand job.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I got two
Luckily,
hands.
Ted's gone already. So luckily, Ted's
No.
gone.
Someone gives you one. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's not as fun as you think.
Oh, that sounds.
It's
yeah.
a hobo.
Yeah.
Though, and speaking about hobos, like I saw a hobo downtown.
Weird segue.
It's
I saw
segue,
a
yeah.
hobo downtown, and he had a cup of hot water, and he was pouring little coffee grounds from a jar into it. I want someone to look at me like that hobo looked at it as a hot water coffee shit. Because, man, was he just the happiest guy I've ever seen in the world.
Well, I bet it was like kind of cold out.
Oh, man. Well, he was in a
just-
mall, so. But,
Oh.
but he was the happiest guy. Oh. So, anyway, back to
So-
Danny. I just want to say that, yeah, I saw a hobo, and he was really happy today.
Wow. And this bit of moment of zen brought to you by Folgers, I guess.
Yeah,
Sure, it's
Sure.
it's in your cup.
So you've been painting, you're getting prepper states.
Yep.
You got your Schwett band.
I do, yeah.
Oh, yeah, so-
I will not wash them. One of my traditions is I wear various colors of sweatbands. I have some wristbands as well that I'll be wearing this year, and the 40K team that I'm on, we all wear Taco Time watches. Shout out to Fancy Players Academy. So I'll be wearing all of my gear, so I'll look ridiculous. But yeah, in a fun way.
Yeah.
In a fun way. It'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, right.
I'm hoping that Justin is playing this year and he's got the Fez.
Oh, man, I really
Fez,
hope so.
Fez versus Schwett band.
He's kind of he's like the Silent King. He's kind of gone off to a different galaxy, and he'll come back when his stuff isn't shitty anymore. When he can Tau
I don't know,
Kronkin
But the
with pride.
Necrons are out again.
I'm sorry, can he Tau Kronkin in
No,
anymore?
he
So
cannot
there you go.
Tau Kronkin.
This is a guy who in 6th edition took a Tau, Demonkin, and Necrons together in a list of just grossness. A list which was just like reasons why 7th wasn't the best idea in the world, pretty much. But yeah, since he's kind of rode off to the sunset. Like I said, waiting for that time when he can abuse the right set of rules again.
He totally made one person actually quit the game. Like, it was pretty amazing.
It's pretty bad. Yeah.
That was almost me, actually.
Yeah.
Not in a good way. Not
No,
amazing in a
no,
good way, though, of course.
No, of course not. But yeah, so you've been prepping your list for states, getting everything kind of grossed up, half-assing a base by using 6 different paints and a couple of different technical varieties. What else have you been up to there, Dan?
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Really, I've been cranking out that paint. I've been like jamming on some dark, because I've been playing Chaos pretty much exclusively this year. So I've been jamming out some Dark Eldar lists and Drew Curry lists.
There it is.
And
Thank you.
That's been
Sponsorship is back. Yes. So
yep, but yeah, I'm totally I'm totally excited about After States switching to something else maybe for a little bit.
Yeah.
So what about you, John? What have you
Me?
been up
Oh,
to?
man, I've actually 40K'd. It's been crazy. I have gone ahead and got my Eldar together, and I started playing again. So I have like a nice little 2,000 point list. Like I said, about 1,500 point version of it was what I played against Dave there. and I kind of painted all of my vehicles down to like a 3-color minimum.
Sexy.
Which was pretty good. Like I said,
Actually, you had a nice camo scheme on one of them.
Yeah.
It looked like you just spilled wash over it.
The top of so no, I very delicately placed wash so that it wouldn't pool. You really have to watch.
I gotta. Pooling. You know what?
It's a real noob mistake to let it pool like that.
I really hope that's an Adepticon class for next year because I'll take it.
Oof, I mean, you really need to.
It's called "Don't Swim in Your Wash." A pooling story.
A pooling story. Jesus Christ!
Just give away one of our new ads.
Yeah.
Come on.
But don't give people hope. There's no new ads. So yeah, I kind of got everything down, and I'd been painting everything in Samhain colors before for like 6th, 7th edition, and now like 8th edition's around, and obviously I'm just chasing the meta. I painted them all like Alatok blue. But mainly, like, I started doing it. It's a way more fun scheme to paint. I can't stand painting red.
I think it's just because you painted so much red. I think if you paint a ton of blue, you're going to end up in the same position. Although I've painted a ton of purple, and I still fucking love it.
And like, I had a blast with the blue, and like, even when I powered through, I painted through like 2,000 points of old Footdar in like 3 weeks. It was tough. Like, by the end of it, I was like, "Fuck, I don't care. It's fine. It works. Whatever." And I don't want to ever get to a position like that. Let's ignore my little notification there. Ding! Ding! Yeah, it's pain. So yeah, I got that all painted up. I just think I need to finish it off. And I got some more Spirit Host assembled, moving into Age of Sigmar. Yes.
You know, hold on. I'd like to just take a moment and say how proud of you I am that you've done that, because that model is one of the worst models to build. So I'm proud that you built more Spirit Hosts. So congratulations. Nice work.
I now have 27 Spirit Hosts that I've assembled.
Man, as long as they don't do like a box set in the future of like Night Haunt, you know, and Stormcast or something, that would be fine.
So I mean, I think for the new Battle Tome coming, I want to do 3 more, so I have an even 30, so I can run like 3 units of 9 or run a little unit of 3 or something.
Can't you already run 3 units of 9?
Oh yeah, I can. Go fine. Yeah, I don't want any more. But then, so yeah.
That's right.
You know,
math. Yeah.
So I've just
or 2 units of 12 and a unit of 6.
Not to cut you off and interrupt or anything, but you know, I wanted tons of Black Knights, and I tried to figure out every which way possible to make it so that Black Knights could be battle line troops. So I didn't have to take regular foot skeletons. Not that the foot skeletons were a problem, but
I don't think
you can't until they released I don't know, and then they gave me Black Knights that were even better than Black Knights on freaking eels with laser beams for eyes. So I mean, it's just
that's kind of like me saying I really wish that I could take Primaris in my Space Marine squads, but now I can because Death Watch came out. It's a different army, man.
But it's what he wants.
That's what I want.
I am
narrative, bro. Forge narrative.
I actually have 520 points of all cavalry slotted up for a thing I'm doing with a couple guys, doing a Tale of Warlords actually.
Oh, cool. Nice.
There's 5 of us.
Yeah. So I'm excited.
7 models.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's many.
That's Deepkin. That's a very large Deepkin army.
That's
but yeah, so I painted up that. I assembled the Goliath half of a Necromunda box. I started working on the Escher half of the Necromunda box. I built the bulkheads, which were surprisingly cool looking, like super sturdy, very.
They really are.
Yeah, very nice stuff. Like that whole box is just amazing.
Just really good. Yeah.
I really do like the models for the Eschers. The Goliath, like I think I've said in the past, and they just don't resonate with me for some reason.
I enjoy the Goliaths. You know what I don't enjoy? Putting the fucking cigar in someone's mouth.
Oh man, that's the worst. I'm only using that head once.
I used that head once, and then I threw the other one away. Like I literally threw the other one away.
No, I would have taken the head from you actually.
To
have the cigar. I would. Do you still have the cigar?
No, I lost it, and in a fit of rage, I threw the head away. And then the Eschers, I was having like the same issue with because their heads are so tiny.
They're smoking of cigars.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Their heads are like cigar size. Yeah. So I was getting tired, so I literally had to stop. So I'm like, I'm too tired to put these heads on. But yeah, I got most of that stuff assembled. I have like 6 more Eschers to go, and then that's all taken care of, and I'll be ready to throw some paint on those guys.
Nice. Yeah.
And yeah, getting ready for maybe some Blood Bowl in the future. I have all my orcs. I pulled them all out of storage. So we'll see how that goes, and
I do wish we had a bigger community that would actually play Blood Bowl up here. That is the one thing that is lacking for me.
Oh, we will. It just takes time. People.
It's one of those games where it's not not long running. It's hard to get people to meet up. I mean, when you start looking at smaller specialist games, even if you have a dedicated night.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah,
yeah. So
we'll get some games going. Yeah, I'll let you like whip my ass at that too.
Oh, I sure hope so.
Yeah,
I'm like the Bobby Knight of Blood Bowl. Bobby Knight? I don't know. Bobby Fischer. I'm the Bobby Fischer of Blood Bowl.
Bobby Knight.
Shut up.
You're gonna throw a chair?
Of the Indiana Hoosiers coach. Is that who it was? Pacers? I don't know.
No, it's the Hoosiers.
All right.
My family's from Indiana.
Sports.
Yeah, something like that.
Blood Bowl. Sports.
But yeah, that's pretty much all I've been up to. I guess we're going to go ahead and we'll go on a quick break. We'll come on back and we'll talk about something else. Yeah. Maybe.
To the objective, my brother. With haste, we must recover the chapter master before the vile Tyranids devour him, and all hope for our chapter's future.
I fear it is too late, brother, for look on the horizon. An incoming monster heads for our honorable leader.
We can still make it.
No, brother, there is no hope. He's Turva gone now.
God damn it, Dave.
Oh man, we're back, and probably like a way too soon break from, or like way too soon gap from break, but that's okay. We are now going to talk about some of the stuff that's happening, or has happened this past couple weeks in 40K. Starting off with the latest codex. From this like goddamn runaway speeding train of releases that is the 40K rules team.
Well,
the juggernaut that is GW right now.
Jesus, do you feel like they're just cranking out codexes because they knew they had the new Sigmar coming out in June? They were like, we got to get these out now. You know?
I maybe a little. I think really there's just one guy who's like in some Beethoven style renaissance of like rules writing skill, and just like keep writing, yes, keep writing, don't let him stop.
Yeah, I prefer to think maybe he sold his soul to GW and they own him. They're just the demon whipping him, just like write codexes.
And then he's gonna go write the orc codex and he gets a cramp and has to stop and gets replaced with someone else.
Who also isn't able to write an orc codex, so it just never happens.
No, let's change their ballistic skill to 6.
But we don't want them to actually hit anything with shooting.
Oh, no. Yeah. I think it's like you pointed out when I was like talking to you about my army, where like, yeah, orcs won't even actually be able to shoot at you, and I'm like, oh, that hurts me a little inside.
But they can chop you.
That's fair, but I'm a plane.
Well, they can still chop you.
Some of them. But yeah. The latest codex coming out is Codex Deathwatch, which just came out last weekend. Which kind of is Codex Primaris, which I think is a lot of us have been talking about here.
It's not just Codex Primaris. I mean,
it's Codex Primaris with special ammo.
It's pretty much Codex Primaris for me, but I'm sadly disappointed in just one thing, because the only thing I wanted from this Primaris tie-in was to be able to take an Inceptor and sit him in with 9 aggressors and deep strike him into somebody's backlines, because I'm a dirty prostitute.
I mean,
can't you do that?
No.
No, you don't get the deep strike ability by,
because I just imagine this Inceptor like carrying, like, you
like
know
a
how
dog leashes.
No,
like
you know how you like single
walker.
Carry a load of groceries to the house from the car, but instead of groceries, he's holding aggressors by like the little stupid like hood part of their helmet.
Just like a belt clip to
like
all
a
of
bunch
them.
of grocery
like
bags.
his arm pauldron's just like bulging and breaking away from the weight of all this stuff.
So strong,
man. I need a conversion. If that wasn't like a $300 model, that's a diorama. Get a bunch of orcs. Just get a big old the orc mega boss arms and slap them on the side.
Dave, you're not getting any more Primaris transports. Walk your shit across the table like everyone else.
You don't know that.
Maybe he might.
There's
he might
supposed to
open
still be a
another
flyer.
That was a fantastic video.
It was the best.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to derail that.
Well, we'll get into that later there.
Yeah, no, I mean, technically
Watch.
they're still the Overlord, so I mean, there's that. But yeah, Death Watch, the fact that they can all tie into, you can just have a mixed squad of stuff plus special ammunition.
You can take in the Primaris squads, like, and maybe I'm misremembering, but I think you have to take 5 intercessors, and then you can add other models up to 10. But they do have a stratagem for the Teleportarium stratagem. So if you paid 1 command point, you could put 4 aggressors or even 5 aggressors with 5 intercessors and deep strike them.
Yeah, no.
Or just a whole squad of 6 aggressors.
That's actually that's in Deathwatch though. That stratagem, not regular.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That's what we're talking about. Deathwatch Codex.
We're talking about the Deathwatch Codex, Dave.
Isn't this June of 2017? What year is it?
I mean,
we lost Dave.
You've literally had a third of a cider.
I'm so
Maybe
toast
just
right
even
now.
2 sips.
Maybe even just that. But I think the thing back to the
Joke's
Deathwatch
on
book.
you. This was full of
Cinnamon.
vodka.
The thing I love about the Deathwatch book is, to me, this is how Primera should have been run in the vanilla codex, of kind of like a similar thing where you have like your intercessor squad, but you're able to kind of add in to that there. So like maybe I can take one Hellblaster in my
Like a
intercessor squad, or like a special weapon or heavy weapon kind of following. Because you have like Gulliman, who is like, yes, I wrote the Codex Astartes. This is how everyone should be. Apart from my new boys, who are especially like the youngest child syndrome, where the rules don't apply to them and he loves them more.
They have more restrictions than regular Space Marines. They can't take special weapons. They can't take heavy weapons. They can't ride in a goddamn anything. Because let's be honest, if you buy repulsors as a transport, you're something. You're eating retarded sandwiches or something like that.
I would think it would be awesome to have a bunch of repulsors like as transports. I mean, that's way better than a Rhino, clearly.
Yeah.
Oh, they're way better than they're
But
better
they just
than,
cost-
they're better than Land Raiders.
They're like they cost 5 times better than a Rhino.
I mean,
True. All of that is true.
the whole reason that I take them is simply so I can shoot the crap out of John's, or whoever I'm playing against.
Which, considering we played once, is a really expensive thing for you to do.
That one game taught me that I can actually drop 2 Redemptors and just take another Repulsor. So I'll be good with that.
You could also deep strike a Redemptor Dreadnought.
Yeah.
I can now with the new Forge World mold coming out.
Or if you play
because
Deathwatch.
existing drop Dreadnought rules, I think they can't go in there, if I remember right.
No, they actually.
Models over 13 wounds, I think, don't go in.
I have no idea. Oh, so you can't put a Leviathan
I
inside?
don't think so.
No, they have to be. You have to be able to put a Leviathan into them.
Because you used to be able to.
Yeah, you used to be able to, but I remember I read somewhere that or maybe it was just Storm Ravens where it screwed up.
Maybe because
they couldn't be drug along the ground anymore.
But yeah, no, I think that, and I haven't had time to read through it yet because, it released and I drove out to the valley to say hi to all you guys playing in the tournament and pick up.
Oh yeah,
the
I played in the tournament. I went 2-1. I came 8th out of 20th.
The
nice job, John.
Thanks.
The comp team that you're a member of, John, they did pretty well at this tournament, didn't they?
The comp team I'm a co-founder of. Please do not disrespect my level
let's be
of
honest.
Involvement.
Respect his authority, Dave.
Let's be
Respect my
honest.
authority.
Whoever the guy that keeps changing his name is clearly the leader of this comp thing. I don't even know who it is in our chat anymore.
Oh, Tay? Yeah.
No, the other guy who has 16 names combined together. I don't know. Anyway, it's moot.
Sure.
Okay, cool.
I don't know. It's like
Clearly he's Alfarius.
Clearly.
yeah,
Clearly.
he's leading us.
But yeah, the Death Watch.
They're good. I think Death Watch have potential to be really good. The points are a little bit overcosted because you're getting special ammunition. You get all that.
Special ammunition
Is really
so
good, and the stratagems, the way that they play out. I mean, being able to choose your stratagem to fit against the army that you're fighting against is to tailor it is kind of really nice.
Sure.
The fact that Death Watch can take repulsors, also really good plus for Death Watch, in my opinion. And the Corvus Black Star is still one of the best flyers in the game.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's interesting.
Well, yeah, it's the nice thing about the Corvus is that it's cheap.
Hold on. The Corvus is still one of the sexiest flyers in the game.
That is not in doubt.
Okay.
Yeah. One of the best looking flyers in the game.
It'd look really good in a blue camo pattern with some yellow.
But then it would be slow.
Yeah.
But yeah, Danny, Death Watch. What were your takes?
I really like the mixed squads, and I'm glad, and kind of to follow up on what you said a lot earlier, that I'm glad that they didn't give Primaris the ability to mix squads like other outside of this book, because I really feel like that's kind of what makes the Death Watch cool. Is that they can have these mixed squads between the Terminators and the bikes and the Assault Marines and the regular Marines, and now they've kind of brought that in also with the Primaris guys, which is neat. And I think it's cool that having each one of those gives them a cool rule. Like if you have an Intercessor or aggressor in there. They can move and shoot heavy weapons without penalty, and the Inceptor allows them to fall back and still shoot.
Yeah,
which is super cool.
Really awesome.
And the stratagems are really nice. Like that teleportarium stratagem is huge. I think being able to like deep strike your units so that you don't have to worry about them getting shot, and you kind of preserve them for a beta strike kind of a thing in the opponent's deployment zone is pretty cool. And then the other cool thing is on a unit that has a lot of shots, like for instance a repulsor, the stratagems that allow you to spend 2 CP and get +1 to wound against a particular battlefield rule are really sexy. Like if you have like, you know, a repulsor that has like 30 shots at strength 5 that's wounding on 3s and turning that to 2s is really, really good. I feel like that could be super powerful.
Or even if you're looking at you have 30 shots wounding on 5s, which you're going to be doing against most things.
Right. Unless it's toughness 10.
Yeah.
Which is very rare.
Very rare.
What is is there anything that's toughness 10 that isn't a giant Forge Ruled supermodel?
No.
Yeah,
Not that I know of. Not that I can think of off the top of my head.
So having your hogs wounding on 4s is really
just even
really
against
good.
vehicles that many shots.
Oh yeah, aggressors, as many shots as they put out, being able to actually just
with +1 to wound and then re-rolling 1s to wound against those things because of the mission tactics.
Yeah.
Super huge. And you can use, there's a bunch of different ways in that book to switch up your mission tactics, like in between targets and things like that. So you can really abuse that, I feel like. Well, not abuse. I mean, it's synergy.
Well, yeah,
it's synergy.
There's a lot of synergy.
Sorry.
You can synergize very well with it.
I feel skill level for that army is pretty high.
Yes, I agree.
Very high. There's a lot of great stratagems. There's a lot of great units and tactics, but it's the kind of thing where I feel if you're making one wrong move with your squad, then you just lost a large chunk of your army.
I 100% agree.
Would you put them in skill category of custodes as far as like
no, I would
take lots of bikes, run bikes forward.
Well, I mean, like even normal custodes are still 2+ with toughness 5 and 3 wounds apiece, so they're and 4+ invul, so they're tough, like comparatively.
So you can make a lot more mistakes with custodes and not really have to pay for it.
The invul really just makes them a lot more forgiving.
That's true.
Whereas with these guys here, they're just, I mean, you know, quote unquote, just standard Primaris Marines or just aggressors. They have like a whole bunch of stuff that can really help out. But they're going to be a lot less forgiving to mistakes.
I am glad that even though they take from other chapters, they don't. Each individual model that you painted X way doesn't get also benefit from chapter tactics.
That would be a clusterfuck.
Seriously,
could you imagine that?
Much.
If you were like had your paperwork and you were like, okay, so this one here is a blood angel. So I want to make a Black Rage roll. Now I have
the Hellblaster is a dark
Death Squared Company Watch. This Dark Angel, he has a bolt rifle, but he overwatches on 5s for the rest of the squad. Like, by the time you're done with turn 1,
the Dark Angel would be a Hellblaster. What are you talking about? Yeah, I don't know. I really like it. I need to sit down when I have a few minutes and read it. But
I mean, some really solid units. I was looking. The thing I had forgotten how good heavy Thunderhammers are. Oh my god! They're ×2 strength, -3 AP, and D6 damage per hit. And if you roll a 6 to wound, they're flat 6 damage.
Yeah,
that is
super good.
And it's a 6+ to wound. So if you get +1 to wound from the stratagem, you get that on 5s. Like that's gnarly.
Yeah, and on top of that, they look cool.
Yeah, they do. They look awesome.
They look really cool.
Yeah, it will take stuff out. And you don't even think about it because, like, I mean, honestly, for me, like, I'm not thinking about heavy Thunderhammers because when do you even really come across them outside of this? But you're right with that combination of that stratagem and with enough ablative wounds around him, then that dude's going to be like flying right on up.
Yep,
it's good times. Deathwatch, good.
Yeah. I'm happy with it.
Yeah,
I'm going to paint some up.
It's a great book. I think it continues their run of really solid books.
Yeah.
They really have.
It's kind of like it's one of those Imperial books though that you're probably not going to see a whole army of. Like you're going to see Deathwatch and something, like, which is fluffy, right? I mean, like, they should be operating in kind of a small capacity, not army-wide, I feel like.
I don't know.
Like, a whole army of Death Watch is probably not something you're going to see, but, like, a kill team of Death Watch or a couple of kill teams is probably a little bit more like, in my mind. Like, that, and that's my narrative that I'm writing, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, but in my mind, I would imagine most Death Watch operate without assistance. You know, I mean,
well, so yeah, but like to Danny's point and all, like the kind of the fiction we've read about it, even in the Beast Arises, when they're trying to overthrow the largest orc in existence ever, they sent 3 kill teams, you know, to like 3 separate locations. So it was like 15 dudes. So, and to your point, if you're taking Death Watch in your army and you take like your one little kill team or, you know, a couple little kill teams, narratively, they're not operating with your army. They just happen to be in the same area going for something round about the same thing.
Okay, I can see that. Mind changed.
Oh, hey.
Oh, yeah. Well done. All right. I need a little happy sound effect for that. I don't have one.
I would prefer it if you had like a sad trombone sound effect for that.
Like number of times Dave's mind's being changed. So like I said, I like that it promotes that area of, you know, like that small elite force.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think that's going to be like the best way to run them. Not saying that like you won't get full armies just steamrolling people, but like
I don't know.
You're right,
I don't feel like a full army would steamroll people because
the full army, if played right,
you'd have to be like a freaking surgeon with that army to be.
So same played right.
Okay. All right. It could be cool, though.
Because cost-wise, it's still fairly expensive. It's more expensive than regular Space Marines.
So the veterans themselves are 16 points a model, and then plus 1 point for the special ammunition. And the Primaris are normal Primaris points, but 90. You pay 1 extra point for their bolter stuff, which is totally fair because of special ammo. Yeah. Like that's an amazing upgrade for 1 point. So arguably the best Primaris Marines are Death Watch Primaris Marines.
I don't know. Iron Hands do pretty good.
Which because they're from other chapters, technically the best Primaris Marines are Imperial Fists, who have been part of the Death Watch.
I'm rolling my eyes so hard right now.
Because it's true. You guys, don't hate. It's fine.
All right. Well, this has been Mob Rules 2nd edition. We're going off the air, never to be
3rd edition.
This time with 100% less John.
No. Yeah, and then there were none.
Yeah.
Harlequins. Next thing, I'm super excited about.
Yeah, Harlequins are on the way. They announced at Adepticon the next 3 codexes being Death Watch, Harlequins, and Imperial Knights.
Yeah, but they didn't follow that.
Well, they just said these are the next 3 books.
They didn't say which order.
They didn't say what order they're going to be in.
Yeah, but then they didn't. Wasn't there a different codex in the meantime that came out? Something. What was it?
Drukari?
No. Custodes. No.
Yeah, those were all announced.
What was the? I feel like they changed the order after announcing it.
Because it was Necrons and then Drukari and then
Knights. The Knights, right?
No. Well, they said Knights, and that's the way they had them ordered, like on the screen. But
because we were getting a baby, we were getting the baby knight, and then they were like, "Well, yeah, but I mean,
the baby knight.
No, I know, but they said to go along with the baby knight, we'll come along your codex."
Do you not like the baby knight?
Oh, I love the baby.
He wants himself a war lad titan.
Yeah,
War lad titan.
Yeah, that's what like the that's what we're calling the Imperial Knight with all the shoulder guns.
I love it.
It's not a warlord; it's a war lad.
That's awesome.
Because it's a little baby.
Yeah, no, because they were saying that they were going to get the Knight Codex right, shortly after getting the Forgebane box set and stuff. Sure. But they didn't.
Well, you know what? Regardless, Harlequins is coming next, and my God, does that book look amazing!
It really does. I can't. God love anybody that can paint a Harlequin army because to make it look good,
I will do it.
I said to make it look good.
Well. Yeah, I'll do my best, but I'm not making that promise.
I'm just going to take a Supreme Command with characters. Or I'm sorry, no, a Vanguard. So it'll be like 4 models, and it'll be my Harlequin army.
I was going to say, weren't you talking about like 3 Death Spitters and a War... No, what's it? Not War Jester.
Death Jester?
Yeah.
They're the 2 Death... So what I'm looking at right now is a Spirit Seer. Like a Vanguard with a Spirit Seer. Right. Because those psychic powers are nice.
Shadow Seer.
Oh, the Shadow Seer. So yeah.
Well, we presume they're nice.
And then,
if the 3 powers that they have in their book already are anything to judge by, it can only get better.
Right.
And then I want to go 2 Death Jesters and a
Technically, it could go worse.
2 Death Jesters and a Solitaire. Is what I'm looking to do, because Solitaire is just they do
They're
things
so
for me.
cool.
They're so cool looking.
Like, what an awesome model.
Every Harlequin model looks awesome, but I think that's because they're supposed to be such elite troops. You know, like they're not supposed to be. You're not supposed to be fielding 100 Harlequins. All right.
So,
oh no, Danny.
I kind of have this list that I made.
Oh, man.
Like pre-new codex, right?
All right. So you're hearing it here first.
I have 6 squads of 12 Harlequins in that army. I think it would be pretty awesome to see that on the table, right?
I don't know. I don't think your opponent would think it would be pretty awesome to see
Do you
that on
have
the table.
the backed up by jet bikes or
It's
Weavers?
as points are
Star
now.
Weavers?
That's pretty much 2,000 points. So 4 HQs, 3 Death Jesters, and 12 or 6 squads of 12 Harlequins with full gear. So that's.
It sounds good, but
I don't know. It probably is bad.
what is that? 30? What is that? 72 models?
72 regular troopers,
yeah,
and then another 8
all
or
with
7 other
invulnerable
models.
saves, all moving a bajillion inches a turn.
And one squad gets to jump, and as long as they get that power off, they get to jump an extra 8 plus d6 inches forward. So one squad is moving 8 plus 2d6 inches and still assaulting.
That's fantastic.
No,
The look on Dave's face says it all.
I was trying to say it with my voice, but
I was like, I'm just gonna write in here, Hemlock Wraith Fighter.
Oh man, I wonder. Yeah, that would be cool if they could assault stuff that flew due to acrobatics.
They're really flippy.
you just see it.
That's why I need jet bikes in there, right? So I can assault the flyers.
Just riding around in my Corvus, just having a good time with my Death Watch, just watching these guys suddenly just acrobat flip up onto me like some sort of crazy trapeze artist.
Some dude throws a spear in your engine. It's all over.
Yeah.
Or maybe they get caught like a bird, where like a Harlequin just goes through your engine.
I managed to kill 3 of them by sucking them through the engine. Invulnerable save that bitch.
Oh man, that would be
The
amazing.
hollow field doesn't protect against that, I don't think. Oh man, leotards just aren't what they used to be, I guess.
They just don't hold up to modern jet propulsion
Or futuristic jet propulsion.
But no, like I'm intrigued by Harlequins right now, especially the Death Jesters, just that minus to morale.
Yeah.
And that's what's making me look at the Wraith plane as well.
I think there's a combo there. I
I
think
think
that you
there's
can make a leadership bomb army with this and Drukhari and Eldar. That is really good.
Something like -9 leadership or something they
I
were
think you
saying.
can do that.
Yeah, like there'll be some real synergy in that
Sorry,
list there.
you said that way too happily.
Because I have Eldar.
Oh, all right.
I should be happy about that.
All right.
The other thing that's coming as part of the Harlequins is the Webway Gate.
I love that model actually. I don't even play Eldar and I want to buy
It's
it.
huge.
It is, and it's it's made by Ray Dranfield, the guy that made all the other Sector Mechanicus scenery.
Oh, cool.
So look, I'm sure we can imagine some pipes coming soon that'll attach to it or something because he just did. Yeah.
Everything's modular.
Yeah.
There's going to be like 2 or 3 things that I'm going to notice 6 months later that it lines up perfectly. Like when the Shadow War terrain came out,
Yep.
and I was moving stuff around and I put my what was it called? The Void Shield generator beside one of the things.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, those pipe holes line up perfectly. But yeah, this Webway portal is coming out before. And we've seen kind of in the regimental standard in the article, like the personal Webway portals.
Yeah.
And like kind of how it's little, but this thing is like Wraith Knight size.
It's way taller. You can walk a Wraith Knight between the gates.
It is at two distinct pieces. And it's a beautiful, beautiful sculpt.
really is.
I wonder how that's going to work with setup. Honestly, I wonder how you have to can you set the 2 parts up separately? How wide can
they
it
have
be?
to be. From what I think they mentioned in one of their articles this week is that it has to be
Together.
The base, you have to picture the size of a Wraith Knight and put it that big.
Okay.
That's how wide it is.
It's a really clever tactic to sell more Wraith Knights because that's the only unit of measurement they use.
1 Wraith Knight wide.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no, we're
What
good.
was that? Was that a
no, that was
ghost?
nothing.
Nothing. We're good. So, yeah, no, I think it's really good. I like.
Yeah, I'm gonna edit that part
Whoa.
there intently.
All right,
Good
so
times.
that was
Yeah, technical issues.
okay.
But-
Hot stuff.
That's my bad stuff here.
All right,
But yeah, it's huge. I think really the reason it's two distinct halves is for transporting.
That makes sense. Although if you put it on a base too, it would be hard to set up on a table.
what would you
Yeah.
put it into? Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, what sort of carry?
and then
That
even,
is a cavernous storage device.
and even then, like I look at that and I think of
You don't qualify. You don't have to qualify that. Like
no.
anyway, but you continue, please. I want to hear your
I think
qualification.
of it. If you get like two of them, you could even make kind of an Eldari Vortial generator, or kind of use it to kind of make your.
That's
own
coming
kits
in the
and things
next
like that.
codex.
Fucking better be -1 to hit. That's all I know.
So only if you take LATOC rules.
No, it's too much. Too many minuses.
I think I worked it out. I could stack it to -4.
You know what? And I'm looking at it. It's gonna have. It has stats. I mean, we don't know what the stats are yet. So, but it's gonna have stats and wounds, and obviously become a giant target. If I had one of these on the table and somebody blew it up, I'm not taking it off the table. It's staying.
Well, you have to. I don't care how much you like your damn
Nope.
thing.
I love it. It's staying on the
It
table.
just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, it just doesn't work.
It doesn't work anymore.
So what you can do, Dave, is buy a second one and put out a battle damage version of it.
Like the people that do the Inspire stuff for Shadespire, where they take
Yeah.
2 sets of the.
Oh man, that's so cool. That's how I want
That's
to buy
super
cards.
Awesome.
That's how I'm going to do every single model. I'm redoing my whole army in an inspired format, or dead format, I guess I should say.
And an inspired format,
Yeah.
but all your stuff's so bad that it
just-
never inspires, so you never see it.
I need shit.
Your guys only inspire on turn 6.
Yeah.
If they've lived,
Or-
and they
or
never
dude,
do.
I don't inspire anybody. If I've ever
Your
managed to inspire
Redemptor, and
something.
it's like your Redemptor inspires, and people start questioning you, like it hit 4 of its 30 shots. That's not very inspiring.
I guess-
Like, shut up.
I
That's
guess-
his condition.
I guess inspire is the wrong term. Battle damage. I'm going to make the battle damage He-Man version. So when the Redemptor blows up, I'll just take it off and put out another one that's just wrecked on the table instead.
That'd be cool.
Couple repulsors.
I do kind of miss vehicle wrecks sometimes,
Yeah,
but I'm glad for table cleanup that they don't exist.
I'm really glad for the simplicity of rules.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
Me too. 100%.
Because like playing
Oh.
games this weekend and like seeing a crater and just moving through it and not either circling around it
Oh.
and then having my last guy touch it, so my entire unit has to like only move a random amount, was a pain in the ass.
Yeah. No, that's
But man, craters. Like for real though, like the rules for craters,
So good.
like watch out for those. Like it can really screw up your assault. Like I've had it not cost me the game, but
how what are the rules for craters? Because
so if you have an infantry unit and they're entirely within the crater, i.e. their bases are touching, they get cover.
right.
Also, enemy units that charge into a crater are -2 inches to their assault distance. So, like,
did
even
not know
though,
that.
yeah, that's actually a pretty big deal too. Like, because that can really affect. Like, -2 inches is big.
Yeah,
So
it is.
so if I have a big crater and I've got a repulsor in it and they're trying to charge me,
-4.
Well,
If you put the crater between you and the enemy that's charging you,
yeah.
but if they can go around in any way, then
And because it's
you know.
technically hull to hull, if
No, I'm
your
just
little
gonna start-
bit of your repulsors outside the crater.
just going to start bringing my own terrain
Well,
to
no,
tournaments and throw
even,
down a giant
even if
crater.
the little bit is even if like 90% of the repulsor is out, like as long as if to get to the repulsor they would have to go through the terrain, they're -2 inches.
Oh man, that's really good.
Yeah, so if you get clever with that kind of stuff, that's,
I mean, I don't have to because I roll so many dice for Overwatch.
Yeah,
when
that's
they charge a
good. Yeah, they
repulsor,
just die.
they die anyway. But yeah, no, the Webway portal is going to be awesome.
I'm excited. And it should everything should be out this weekend or tomorrow. So we'll probably talk more about that next time. Into more leaked to non-leaked stuff. Rogue motherfucking Trader.
dude.
Holy
oh,
crap.
man, I'm
they're-
excited.
You know what? I just need to say for a second that GW, you're doing an amazing job on plugging your leaks so fast. You know, like, I mean, I understand you guys had the video up, but somebody got a leak out, and within 12 hours, you guys had the
It was
finished
like
video.
an hour.
It was an hour. Because I remember I put up on Twitter like the little like leaked picture of it.
Well, it had been up a little bit.
And then I had said specifically that, hey, it was like, knowing how good GW is, there'll be way better pictures up soon. And like
That's
it
true.
was literally an hour.
That's true. You said that, and then I totally retweeted the video to you when they released it and they pulled it back down and which made me laugh.
It was executed.
Yeah, which made me laugh because it wasn't there when you went to look at it.
But it looks super gorgeous. And like something I said on Twitter is it looks like Wayne England's art book and John Blanche's art book got thrown into like the machine from The Fly and kind of just they went to town. And it looks amazing. And it looks like Nurgle versus a rogue trader with a personal security detachment, maybe some planetary defense force.
Yeah, and like a Death Cult assassin.
Yeah.
You look like you've got some really strong thoughts on this.
I am not a Blanche fan. Like but Wayne England is my boy. Like,
well, and that's
he's my favorite like artist, like for sure in Warhammer ever.
And that's why kind of like it's an amalgamation for me because you have kind of like the weird
and I know what you're talking
crap
about
from thing, but the lines are so crisp.
Yeah,
on all the models, which is really pulling me to like a Wayne England style thing.
Sure,
but it's totally unlike anything else that they're doing. And even if you compare it to like the rest of the Nurgle range, maybe apart from the Poxwalkers, which started to have like that super like sharp lines and kind of almost cell shaded look to them.
Right.
They're really, really awesome models.
I'm really looking forward to them.
I agree. They look amazing.
There's a pupper. There's a dog.
I saw that. A little Doberman.
A little Doberman and a little Space Doberman.
I feel so bad for that Doberman. He's going to die so hard so many times.
He's going to die.
Unless he's got like crazy stats.
Well, I don't know if you saw the attack fleas. So like I hope he's got a flea cover.
Oh yeah. Maybe he attracts the fleas. Maybe he attracts the fleas.
It's a 4-up invuln versus space fleas.
Yeah. That's what they don't tell you is the Doberman and the Space Pupper isn't part of the Rogue Trader retinue. It's a Nurgle weapon. They send it for like just gross farts and fleas, and it infects the ships.
So speculation on the game. To me, it looks like a very serious standalone game. A lot of people are talking about it being, look at this, it's a new faction, yay for 40K, and I'm like, I don't see it as a new faction. Like this looks completely like a standalone game, where you've got for lack of a better term, rogue traders traveling around. Like a trader ship, not a non-imperial vessel. Of course they obviously have a security force, kind of, smugglers or whatnot, maybe even traveling through the warp and getting attacked by an overpowering Nurgle force,
that's what it looks like. Don't know that the things are Nurgle.
That's true. Well, I mean,
they are chaosy, but I didn't see a lot of like disease and that kind of stuff on them.
No,
they
just
have
mutations,
sutures.
actually. Yeah.
So I don't know, but like then they have a bunch of flies and a bunch of fleas and that kind of stuff leads me towards Nurgle, kind of. But I think this could be just space vermin.
Yeah, I definitely think it's almost Zone Mortalis-esque. Is kind of what I think the feel is going to be, very similar to like 6th, 7th edition Zone Mortalis. Maybe not in the rule set, but kind of how it's played.
Sure.
I feel it's going to build off of Necromunda and the rules they have for doors and things like that from there.
I thought it might be a precursor to Kill Team.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but I mean, they might just like this is like the box that they released for Kill Team.
No, I think that I honestly get a feel more like kind of a Space Hulk feel from it.
Okay.
For the way that it was laid out and the way that it's set up, with the exception of the fact that there's a bajillion more models than there should be for Space Hulk.
I'm going to say if it is Space Hulk, I'll be very disappointed.
Not Space Hulk, just
yeah,
Space
but
Hulk.
I'm saying if it's Space Hulk-ish, I'll be very disappointed. Space Hulk works for me because it's very simple but very complex, if that makes sense. I don't think it would work for me in kind of like a cramped corridor Space Hulk kind of condition.
Like with normal humans.
What if it's actually a tie-in to the new... it's not rumored anymore, but the new 40K RPG.
I don't think GW would work so hard with the license part of their stuff to release stuff at the same time. While it could be cool, I feel.
Think about it. Well, let's look at Dungeons and Dragons. You've already been playing. You've been buying little minis to play your RPG for that, and having the grids laid out. You move them around for your Dungeon Master or whatnot. Why not have a complete 40K version to go along with your role playing?
Because
go ahead.
Sorry. Because they have a third-party company who excel at making role-playing games, making their role-playing game. They don't have, I believe, the manpower or the kind of the setup in order to coordinate a large-scale release with another company's release. That's kind of my view on that.
That's fair.
So, and I looked at it and I thought immediately, like, there's generic trooper models a lot in that box, and like there's not very many heroes, and especially with the heroes that they've been previewing for the RPG, like the Space Marine Scout,
Okay.
and like the tech priest and that kind of stuff. I didn't really see as many of those kind of models in there. Although I mean, there's like obviously some kind of Death Cult assassin or assassin junior or something like that, and there's maybe a tech priest kind of a model. I don't know.
Assassin Junior.
Yeah,
Assassin Light.
Junior.
it's
Not
like
quite as deadly.
It's like
Doesn't clean the blades properly before putting them away.
It's like young Indiana Jones, but like young
come on.
Calidus.
That's terrible.
Young Indiana Jones. Oh, so you mean Shia LaBeouf?
Oh no, I do not.
He does not, sadly enough. But yeah, I mean, really, it's just speculation. They did this.
Yeah, nobody knows.
They leak filled. They just showed a bunch of models and then they shut up.
Fear
I'm gonna stop pressing buttons.
How are you doing that?
I don't know. Oh, see, it's just previews for the future. Keep going.
Good stuff.
I heard my own voice.
I did too. I got
immediately aroused.
Me too. High five. Yeah. All right. But no, Rogue. It looks awesome. The models look good. I'm a little less of a fan, in general, of a game where you have strict specific stuff, like not strict specific stuff, like monopose stuff that is less easy to convert. If that makes sense.
It makes sense, but to be fair, everything GW's done for these games for the last 2 years has been monopose.
But I don't know. I realized what I had meant to say originally was Silver Tower makes 40K is the way it looks to me.
That's fair.
Oh, that could that could be.
Yeah,
and that would be really good.
Yeah.
Because Silver Tower was a lot of fun, and there were some great models, great kits, and yeah, it gets my blessing. If it's just Warhammer 40K quest,
Yeah, that'd be cool. I'd
Yeah,
be down with that.
it's just the way that it laid out in the town.
Yeah,
everything else.
that'd be super fun. I would definitely play.
Yeah,
Give that a whirl a couple of times.
I've never played the Silver Tower. I've been told it's an
fun.
amazing game. I've watched some people play it on streams where they just butcher themselves and die, and it looks like a blast. So
there's a bunch of like fun, stupid rules, like you have to balance your dice on top of cards and pull cards away, and
Really?
yeah. There's like one
That's
of
cool.
there's like one of the things where you have to balance like 3 dice on top of the thing. And to get to the power to go up or something, you have to pull the card out without toppling
That's
the dice.
awesome.
So there's like really neat, dumb little things like that. Kind of like what they tried to do with Age of Sigmar at the start with like the twirly mustache stuff, but way less campy.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of
You can't see Danny roll his entire face right
Sorry.
now.
So, like before, I was a frequent 40K player. Like I played 40K player comes in the second game. I was like a really hardcore fantasy player, so like those rules that were like super silly like immediately turned me off of Age of Sigmar initially. But now that they've kind of matured the game a little bit more, and like some of the stuff that's come out has been, the models have just been amazing that they released.
They really have.
And the rules have kind of solidified a little bit more, and they're a little bit less kind of silly.
And then they decided
it's really
to take a hammer to it.
Well, and kind of to segue into our next section a little bit. Can I segue?
Yeah, segue away. Well,
Awesome.
Go do it.
So Warhammerfest happened this weekend.
Man, yeah, it did.
Oh yeah.
I've seen a lot of salt out there that there wasn't a lot of 40K.
There was no 40K.
There's a little bit of 40K.
What was
but
the
there
40K?
wasn't
Battle
really.
Sister.
There was the Battle Sister.
So the reason I don't count it is because it was a rendering, wasn't an actual model. Placed out, a picture of an actual model. It was a rendering of the model that's going.
So
to
I
be.
had read they're releasing that model.
Well, hopefully it's.
Yeah, I wrote here with exclamation marks. They showed the 4th ever plastic sister of battle because I just want to kill people's dreams because it isn't the 1st or even the 3rd.
No,
it's the 4th. It looks fantastic though. I mean, so from what I've read, one of the reasons they didn't do plastic before was because they had such a hard time with the hair and kind of getting the undercut on the hair. And it looks like, honestly, like things like Necromunda were like an experimentation to kind of get that part right in kind of a mass-produced set. And it certainly looks like it happened.
they did that with the Witch Elves for fantasy.
Witch Elf hair is amazing.
It's really cool. As a Daughters of Cain player, I have to say, those models are super awesome. Like they're a joy to build and put together. Like they're really nice models.
Even the altar.
Yeah, even the altar.
You're a lying sack of crap. That thing turned me off of Daughters of Cain so fast.
Really?
I couldn't. It didn't go together. I think it might have had like an older kid or something that just.
Oh man, it's just.
Oh,
Do you
dude,
want
it
to
was
put down
terrible.
together 27 spirit hosts? Let me tell you about easy models
Yeah.
after that.
don't test him.
My bad.
Or don't challenge him in this because he's like 100% right. Because I bought one box of Spirit Hosts and I built 2. And I was like, yep, that's enough for me. I don't really want to build anymore.
I'm
Like,
like, Danny, it's a unit of 3. You're like, yep, that's enough.
Yep, that's enough. I only want 2 bases.
I'm going to move these 2, and when the first one dies, I'm going to put it where the other base was and replace it. So, but yeah, I mean, I've looked at the Spirit Host stuff, and they seem to be getting to a position of a lot more fiddly bits in general as they move forward with their designs and their ability to make better models. So, they're getting a lot more detail, but at the same token, you have stuff where you're balancing a giant skeleton dragon that flies on its tail,
Yeah.
It's just a recipe for some stuff to break. But I mean, depending on how you base it, you could easily do other stuff. And I can't really attest for the Spirit Hosts and all of the Night Haunt stuff that they revealed.
It's just the problem with the Spirit Hosts in particular is the places that you glued them together are not readily apparent.
Like if
it's
they just
not
put
easy
a couple
to see.
of cutouts or a notch.
Right.
then it
If
would
they
be
put a little
perfect.
notch and like just made it so that it sit in there well, it would have been an entirely easy kit to build. But because it's very spirity.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. That's precisely right.
Spooky boys.
Yeah. Speaking of Spirit
Oh,
Hosts,
man.
speaking of all kinds of things, the biggest news out of Warhammerfest was
Titanicus.
the new edition of Age of Sigmar.
Titanicus, clearly.
Sigmar 2.0. Looks like we have confirmation. No more shooting in and out of combat. If you haven't played Age of Sigmar, it was kind of one of my big gripes. Is if I lock a unit out up in combat, it just means I can't move away and hide from shooting. It just means I'm kind of there and get shot at. So there is going to be some protection there for some shooting, as well as a couple different changes. I know, Danny, we were talking there. We really want to see command points. Some strategies.
And that's happening. It looks like.
Yep.
Is it?
Yeah.
Which is
because of the command dice that they revealed.
Well, they said specifically they're putting like command points in the game.
Did they? I
Yes.
must have missed that then because I did not see that.
and it works so well. And we're getting two new armies, newish armies, expanded armies.
No, expanded.
And we're getting opened another chamber of Stormcast, which is I love that video.
Oh man, that was so hilarious.
Look, I love both reveal videos.
Yeah.
But it's obvious that somebody cares more for Stormcast Eternals than they do for Night Haunts because Night Haunt was like,
did they care less?
I like that they know the meme is just release more Sigmarines.
Yeah.
Because like even in like the Facebook page, like they would do like the rumor engine, where they would do like this picture and it was like a very Night Haunt looking picture, and the guy was like commented, it was like, even though it looks very Night Haunty, I'm going to assume it's another Sigmarite warrior. So it's good that they can laugh at themselves there. So second edition is coming in June. Looks like a Night Haunt versus Magical Stormcast box set.
Cool.
All of the models look amazing.
Yeah.
I might have spent the whole day making memes about turning one into a janitor.
You have.
But yeah, I have.
We've been victim of this all
You've
day.
been victim to that all day.
Danny, you're not on Twitter. You're not also on everything else. So like I got it everywhere. I said, what did I say? It was like, oh, wow, if John had my actual phone number, I'd be getting this in a freaking text message too.
Well, just on Twitter, on Twitter, you guys got the progression of my sense of humor. Like it started off with the unedited original picture where I'm like, it looks like a toilet plunger. And then I edited it to have like a broom head, and I'm like, he's sweeping, not sweeping this under the rug or some other really bad pun. And then it looked like he was holding on. So like, yeah, open the window. And I made that terrible meme there. Other things announced for Age of Sigmar. Role Models, a web comic.
Oh yeah.
I mean, Games Workshop travels back in time to 2011, and we're making web comics. But it's actually super funny. So
It looks good.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like I've actually seen that particular comic before. Before they revealed it there. I just get the feeling that I've seen that for like somebody had it someplace, like the actual artist made,
I don't know.
was doing that, and somebody was like, oh, we'll pay you to do it for us.
Yeah,
they did with the 40K artist. Oh God.
Oh, yeah, I know.
The Inquisitor artist.
Right. The guy who does all the stuff for the role playing game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What really kind of came across to me, it was reminded me a lot of Turn Signals on the Land Raider. Which is a really like old 40K web comic. And because it was meshing kind of like in-game kind of in-narrative stuff.
And fourth wall break.
And fourth wall breaking. So, I mean, I hope it continues with that because that kind of stuff gets pretty good. And it's pretty funny. And, we can shut down the podcast now because there's going to be an official Warhammer podcast.
Official Age of Sigmar podcast.
Yes, which is Warhammer. So we got to shut down now because, close it up, turn off the power. But here's...
I can't wait to listen to it.
Here's the number one thing about it. I'm very excited about it, but why had no one called a podcast the Stormcast before?
I have no idea. How did that get by?
How did that get by? Like, literally everyone. I mean, you can see like GW like sitting in their offices trying to come up with the names of the podcast.
What do you guys think about mob rules?
No,
those guys have that.
No, they're pretty shitty. Yeah. What about Stormcast? Oh, that has to be taken, hasn't it? Nope. No, that's still free. Like, what?
Oh, okay. Neat.
But I'm excited because usually stuff like that, I used to listen to their old podcast when it was like 4 episodes long and it was just Jervis in a conference room talking about stuff. That's on iTunes still.
Oh, really? They have an old podcast?
It's like, it's
got to
like
be really old.
2009, 2010. Ooh. It's really good though. Like they only did 4 episodes. But like there was a lot of good stuff in there. And I feel that, they're going to get... it'll be interesting to see what format that can take because you have like a Heel and Hammer, you have like a bunch of other podcasts where they're not as restrained, so it's going to be kind of interesting to see what kind of content we get from something where they can't necessarily talk about certain things.
They have to like kind of toe the party line.
They toe the party line a little bit more. Like I said, I still think it's going to be good based on what they're doing with Warhammer TV. There's a lot of good stuff there. It makes me kind of sad that Rob left, because like.
So, do you feel like maybe that the podcast is even possibly a dig at Rob, who like the first thing he did was start a podcast?
I don't think so.
No,
I mean, I feel he does such good work with his stuff.
Oh man, Honest Wargamer.
Honest Wargamer is like one of the best resources, and I use it all the time for because especially like coming new into Age of Sigmar. The fact that it's so easily broken down, it makes it super, super good. Like I said, I know there's a lot of talented guys and gals who are going to be able to do great things with it. I'm just like, man, if I ever saw something that was made specifically for one person, that's something there too. But
yeah,
it is what it is. We get a ton. Malign Sorcery, the follow-up to Malign Importance.
So awesome.
I really want to see this carried into 40K.
That'd be cool. Like models for psychic powers?
Yeah.
Like Jaws of the World Wolf?
Yeah.
Or like, do they have a Foot of Gork in
I don't believe so. Because
I don't know. There's no codex out yet, so maybe.
Yeah, they could.
Yeah. But like, so we have like literal physical models for Magic. So we have a model that almost sent me to the store to buy $4,000 of Iron Skulls in the flaming ball of teeth.
That was cool.
Looks so good. There's a flaming skull. There's the classic purple moon. There's like the yin yang lightning bolts and just
the Benoit balls.
Yeah, the Benoit balls. There's the giant ball of souls that the dude's throwing at things. There's just so many good things here. And they're described as roaming predatory spells. So like I just love the idea of throwing shit out to the center of the table and letting it roam around.
I don't. That is the kind of thing that comes back to bite me immediately.
I'm gonna buy like 4 purple suns and have all of them floating around the table,
because
predators.
These are all spells from old fantasy too, right?
Yeah,
like Burning Head
throwback.
Was like a line that you drew, and like the skull, like it was a flaming skull that shot, and Purple Sun was.
And all of these are kind of like focusing on like different parts of the colleges of Magic as well, like the different color parts as well. Because when they had that Magic League, they used that old College of Magic symbol, like almost like the wheel from the old Winds of Magic cards, from the original Magic. So
those are the different realms of Sigmar.
Yeah. So I mean, I love the callbacks on this here and kind of the progression to the future. And I'm going to be super interested to see how Magic works when it's a physical thing. And like I said, if it works well and it's not just a massive pain, I mean, the way I see it happening is sort of like Battlefleet Gothic, right? Where like
so
you're
not going to produce any rules for it, and it's just going to die really fast.
But no, like you lined up your ship, you shot your torpedo, and your torpedoes traveled forward independently or traveled in a certain way independently. So if I'm the opposing ship, I got to get the hell out of the way. So like there's some prediction to it.
I kind of thought of it maybe as like a unit, right?
Yeah.
Like maybe give it like a really good save with no rend or something like or like make it ethereal, kind of.
Yeah.
But it has to be like a summonable unit.
Right. And
right. So you have to put points in to be able to have it into reserves to be able to take it.
And then summon it like through a casting roll or something.
Interesting.
I don't know. Or maybe command points.
Yeah.
Like, because that could be a way that you can use this.
Yeah. There's so many ways. And like,
So I have to say, I'm not particularly stoked about command points. It just, I mean, because you're throwing, once you start throwing in command points and stratagems and stuff, I mean, you're literally just playing 40k with,
No, it's already way different.
I'm going to disagree. I mean, hardly disagree. For one, the turn construction right now, even adding in these things we're talking about, like command points, you're adding in other things. The turn structure where you have your hero phase and then this and then this. I don't think that
hero phase is a psychic phase.
Not necessarily, and also it's before. So in 40k it goes move, psychic, shoot, assault. Right? It just Sigmar. It goes hero, move.
Currently.
Right.
We don't know what is going to happen when 2.0.
I don't see that changing.
So from the report of kind of the way that it's supposed to go, they say that they're going to break down the hero phase into multiple phases, but it sounds like it's still going to be in the start of the turn, because there's different things that happen. Like, it's not only is it your magic phase, so to speak,
right,
but it's also your command phase where you do all of your command abilities and things like that. So more or less, what I'd like is to have command points give the ability to reroll some dice if you really need to, like if it's something that makes your army work. Like, because I always hate that, like, okay, I need a 2+ to do this thing, and it's kind of like what my army does, and like if I just get this 2+, like I'll make it work, and then it's like, nope. Okay, yeah, well, that sucks.
But that's a dice game. I mean,
but I like to be, but I like the ability to like fix that stuff a little bit if I want to spend the resources to do so.
Mm-hmm. I mean, dice, but like, yeah, I still see them as different, and especially when we're looking at giant floating suns,
fixed to hit values, fixed to wound values.
Yeah, I don't see that. I don't see that going away either. I mean,
no, totally
a lot
not.
of people talking about strength versus toughness, but the amount of work it would take to update all the war scrolls.
No, it's not.
And in the Night Haunt preview today, they also previewed a new war scroll for one of the new Night Haunt units, and it looks exactly the same as the old one.
Although it looks colors. Turned, like it's not like it fits to the page better.
It looks a lot more slick. Like it's got a picture of the unit and a little blurb of fluff about them. Like it's the way it should have been before.
That was the general with the chains, right? That's whipping around, killing people.
Yeah, and then locking their souls away.
Oh God, it's so good! I'm so excited. I called a Night Haunt battle tune 2 months ago. Just saying. Moving.
First episode of Sigmar and Chill, right?
Yeah. 7 months ago. Then. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
Okay.
So moving on to kind of the really big reveal, I want to say here, because it kind of kept like ramping up and getting bigger and bigger. But Titanicus, Adeptus Titanicus was previewed, and man, was it previewed.
I am super excited.
Looking at the pictures, in all honesty, you could show me a picture of an Adeptus Titanicus Warlord Titan, and I would have a hard time telling you if that was an Adeptus Titanicus or a 40k scale Warlord. If you just had them on white backgrounds, they are like, aside from the missile wrecks, the missile pods on the shoulders are a little squatter. But
so that's where squats went.
I would no, get out.
They're enslaved building Titans. Or bounty hunters in Necromunda.
Yeah. I would have a really hard time telling them apart. The models are beautiful. The Imperial Knights in the thing on a 25 millimeter base, those things look amazing.
The whole thing looks good.
Everything looks good in this. The Imperial sectors they're releasing with it.
The buildings look great. And
so the buildings look amazing, and they previewed that board. And if that board was plastic instead of resin, I would buy it.
Yeah, I just worried about being warped.
Yeah.
But just give a heat gun.
That's super easy.
But like you could just set it on.
Buy something I have to heat up to fix.
Well, like, but you could just set it on a table and heat it up, right? And it would like mold to the table and might melt a little bit. But like it would be flat then, right?
Yeah. Or put it on a hot metal
or
table.
a puddle.
You know, whatever. It's cool.
You got 2 seconds to make it like work or a puddle.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'll be honest. I'm going to take a bunch of shoes and I'm going to take my warlords and put my shoes on the floor and play like I used to do when I was freaking 13. So,
with your penis?
After I
That was a phallus
Solid.
joke.
That was a phallus joke.
Yes.
I got to keep them up. We're running way under quota on though.
Yeah, we
but
are.
It looks great, and I know we've been talking about like builds we want to run and stuff already.
I know, right? Yeah.
And, you know, it's like we don't even know how the
don't
game
know
works.
anything about the game.
All I
We
know,
just want stuff that looks cool, right?
all I know is someone's told me that you cannot take a warlord down with a Knight Titan, but they can do damage, and I immediately want to take a warlord down with a Knight Titan.
Yeah.
So I like my ideal list is just going to be Knight Titans, and they're going to piranha the shit out of warlords. They're just going to run up in a swarm around, and then just kind of kill things.
It'll be like BattleTech with the little nano suits or whatever that they used to have, the little mini mechs.
Yeah. Unless there's a specific rule that says this model cannot be destroyed by it. In which case,
It's so explicit. It's like
just-
you may never destroy a warlord with just with a puny knight, and like make sure it's derogatory towards the knight too.
It's also
you
going to
dumbass.
the rules are going to be amended and be like, just you can't destroy
John.
this with a knight.
John. Yeah, right.
Cornell.
Real quick, I just want to touch on Blood Bowl. Dark Elf team got released. Those models are amazing.
Revealed. They got revealed. They do look good.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
yes, revealed. They look really good. They kind of have the perfect level of camp in them. Camp
really
and
do.
fantasy.
Yeah.
They've got the sea dragon cloaks. They've got assassins. They've got the witch elf character who's coming out. Like dark elves have always been my jam in fantasy. So like having a team, that's like I've been saying that for months now, or since Blood Bowl came out. I'm like, well, when they release the dark elf team, then I will play Blood Bowl.
But it looks amazing. The other big surprise for me is the Horus Heresy wasn't canceled or completely renewed.
Yeah.
They did a couple new releases of it. They have that new giant knight coming out with all the guns. Some beautiful Alpha Legion Praetors. Beautiful Forge World mods for this. But yeah, definitely showing that Heresy's coming on. The next book is being renamed. It's not Angelus anymore. I believe it's called something.
That's true. I think
forget
that's what
what
it's
it's called.
called.
It's got white scars, demons, and blood angels.
Yes. And also the other big news coming from Forge World is they redesigned the Dreadnought drop pod.
Well, and Talons of the Emperor.
We'll get there in a sec. But they really redesigned the drop pod. It's now bigger. So the 3 I have are now technically cheating, and I will be selling them for 120 a model.
Man, I hope you get it.
No, I won't. But yeah, they're beautiful. They now fit a contenter. I think they're the right size for these things. I think that drop pod kit was how old?
Oh yeah.
Oh, 10 years
10 years old. And the advances in Dreadnought technology in these years, it needed to be bigger now. Because like I said, I can't even fit a contemptor in the 3 I have.
Yeah, but it's just supposed to be a visual representation. I mean, you don't have to put it in there.
I like to, though.
I'm just saying you don't have to.
But it makes you feel good when you rush and nest into all your models.
Yeah, it does. Necrons.
Oh man, yeah, that Necron walker, the giant canoptic walker.
The giant canoptic spider tank walker, where they put a poor little marine beside it for scale.
Ugh,
I think
it was underneath it, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think that thing is like bigger than the Hierophant.
It's got to be close.
It's got to be close, if not bigger than the Hierophant.
It looks bulkier for sure.
It's definitely bulkier. It's a gorgeous kit. 2 giant gauze weapons on the side of it. It's going to be disgusting, and it's another fantastic Forge World model. And I think that's the first Xenos model Forge World has released in a while.
A long
It's going to depend on what the actual stats are as to whether or not it gets wiped from play though in tournaments.
Oh, it will be. It will absolutely be.
I'm definitely going to be buying it. I don't really care what the stats are.
It looks amazing. I know
I
it
have
looks great with purple stipples.
3K of nicely painted Necrons. So
who'd you buy those from?
I painted those.
Oh,
Necrons are easy to paint.
yeah.
I sprayed them silver and stippled them purple, and they're beautiful. The last
A Dave
thing,
Eaton story.
the
Gently
last
smear on
thing I
wash.
kind of want to touch on just now is to me a fundamental change in the way Forge World releases things. I think gone are the days of Imperial armors, where in order to get rules for my Imperial, like my Forge World purchased orcs, I have to also purchase rules for like a bunch of Imperial Guard stuff and a bunch of Ravenwing.
Yeah.
And we had the announcement of the Imperial armor Talons of the Emperor, which is solely Custodes, Grey Knights, I believe, and Sisters of Silence.
Yep.
Like I said, and this is to me a really good move, and I think this is like kind of seeing the first kind of signs of moving away from Alan Blythe's Forge World, into kind of the new Forge world.
Yeah, I agree.
Where, like I said, it's single army books, which, you know,
Well, that doesn't sound like a single army book, but
single faction book.
oh,
They're all Talons of the Emperor. But like I said, and I think it's a really good idea because like I own 6 Imperial Armors. I don't have 12 different armies that I use.
but they're all 7th edition stuff, so aren't they pretty much no good now?
Sure, but
Right.
like I'm just saying, like to the point of like when I purchased them, I'm spending like 70-80
Yeah.
pounds on a book, which I don't need half of the stuff for. Is it cool that narratively, like if I was to play the campaign with my friend, that we only needed to buy 1 book to share?
Right.
Yeah, but that's kind of not how the world super works anymore.
Sure.
So I think it's a really good strategy, and I'm excited for that going forward. And please give me new Rules for my Orc stuff.
Yeah. I'm, you know what? I'm really happy with the way that GW is set up. You know, 8th. You just need 1 book to be able to play, unless you're me, in which case you bought every single damn codex that has come out.
Yep, I do.
For no particular reason, because unlike you, I'm not skilled in competitive.
Well, see, now you will be because you can read up and everything.
No, I can't read.
Well, you can learn how to read.
But the pictures tell a
so
story.
pretty.
Look at my Marines; they're killing all these orcs. They must be good at killing orcs. Oh, look, they are
Good at killing orcs.
But yeah, that was Warhammerfest. There was more there, obviously, but it was like such a huge weekend and such a ton of releases that came out.
Yeah.
I'm just happy that it was so good.
Yeah, well, as a Night Hunt player, you would be. I was a little disappointed. You know, I wanted the new box set to be Ideneth versus Daughters of Cain.
Oh, yeah, that would have been much
Yeah.
Oh
better.
yeah, yeah.
better.
Order versus Order. That would have been certainly would have shut up all of those people complaining on the internet.
Oh, John.
We're gonna take a quick break and we'll come right on back.
Earl Hagen was a legend. In 1960, he whistled his way into Hollywood and into our hearts. Decades later, he made a comeback, lending those lustrous lips in the 1980s to such bands as the Scorpions, Guns N' Roses, and Pat Benatar. A half-century after his humble beginnings, he's at it again. This time without cumbersome musical accompaniment, he'll have you wetting your whistle and whistling along. His new album, Earl Whistles Disney, is sure to be a hit with all generations. Order now and receive a bonus album, Earl Whistles More Shit, a collection of previously unreleased material of Earl's favorite songs through the years. On this bonus album, he demonstrates his newly mastered technique of inward whistling. Order yours today on compact disc or double-length cassette. Also available at fine retailers such as Walgreens, CVS, and participating Sam Goody stores. Earl Whistles Disney. Buy it today.
So we were going to talk about some technology in 40K today. I think with like me and Dave like sending down the manifesto of kind of what we're doing, and then Warhammerfest happening and releasing like everything.
So much cool stuff.
So much cool stuff out of Warhammerfest. We're going to push that forward to next week. I do want to add like a section of stuff we do now called shoutouts, where we kind of talk about a company that we think is really good. Like, and each of us is going to pick a different company, because for Games Workshop, there are literally thousands of companies. Well, maybe like hundreds, like high hundreds, but dozens and dozens that some people have never heard of. There's some you do hear of. There's some things, and it's funny because while we were coming back, I showed you guys talking about the custom dice that Phil had.
We were talking about those.
Phil there. And I wanted to kind of point out that Chessex is a company that does that, and they make custom dice as opposed to like their regular dice as well. And they're not terribly expensive. It's a phone buzz.
Okay. Just checking.
Yeah. Is everyone?
Oh, it's Danny.
Oh man, I really wish I could see like
It
a
was Danny's
picture,
phone. Got it.
a picture right now of everyone at once trying to move their phones away from equipment. But Chessex custom dice are super easy to work with. You essentially send them any picture. You tell them where about in the dice that you want the picture, and it's there. Our competitive team that we have up here, which is our snake-based meta,
How much do I owe you for that, by the way?
like $22.
And 50 cents.
I'm out.
But that was so I ordered it for the whole team, like with a custom design on the 6 that we did. I was like 360 dice for like 43 cents a dice, which for the big ones is really, really solid.
Yeah.
And the fact that when you roll up to the table, and we were rolling up with ones where I asked for it to be pre-weighted onto the 1, is going to be very helpful for me. I didn't do that. I just did a custom picture.
We just did that too for our club.
Yeah.
We got custom dice made for Fancy Players Academy. It'll have a sweet graduation cap on the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
So, yeah.
I'm a little disappointed.
Whether it's not like a taco.
Yeah.
No, I would have rather it have been a top hat.
Oh yeah, top hats and monocles were both vetoed by the members of the team.
Well, those
Can you
members
be
were
fancy
wrong.
with it.
Yeah.
Well, you know what, Dave? We're not fancy. We don't
That's true.
understand these things.
You'll get it someday.
We'll understand it someday.
You know, I used to have a dream of being on an ITC team, and when you guys formed Fancy Players Academy, and all of the members you have on the team are all people I really like. So I was like, I might ask them, and then I was like, I'm not fancy enough. And then John told me, he's like, no, you're part of our team. And I went, sounds good. What do we do? He's like, we're Snicks.
So yeah, and so I think competitive like 40K teams or 40K teams in general, like the way I describe it to people is like it's my group of friends I like to play against. That's who's in like our team chat. And like the whole purpose of the team is like everyone who's in our team is of the mind and the knowledge that if you play against someone, you make that the best experience possible for both players.
Yep.
So, I mean, I joke a lot in the early days about independent characters, about, you have to have a conversation with your opponent before the game. This is just a preset group of people I've had conversations with already. And Dave.
Yeah, and me. Because when I walk into a tournament, the first thing I do is when I get my first opponent, is just walk up to him, stick out my hand, and when he reaches for it, I kick him square in the nuts, and then I grab him and do it like a DDT right on him to the ground. Call it good.
That seems legit.
I mean, that seems a little excessive, but sure.
Hey,
Danny, what's something that's super cool, like a company you think is super rad that people might not know about?
So the company that I wanted to give a shout out to, or kind of like a thing that people might not know about, is Gamers Grass. So Gamers Grass makes a bunch of different size tufts. They do a lot of really cool color combinations. I pretty much base all my armies in like the dry tufts because I think they look really cool. It's kind of like a nice combination of browns and beiges with some like really light greens. It looks like dead grass. It looks really cool. And they just released a bunch of like flower, like flowering plants too that you can use.
Yeah, I actually use those on my bases, the flowering ones.
Yeah,
yeah,
cool, man. So cool, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they're really high quality products and they're not super expensive. Like, I think I got 6 sheets of them for like $20 or something like that.
It's really good.
Yeah,
for tufts.
and that was like, tufts are expensive usually. So
the flowers were a little bit more expensive,
Sure.
but I got 4 sheets of flowers, and I want to say it was over like $20 plus shipping. I mean,
right.
So, but yeah, good call. They make a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I've always been super impressed with their products. I've never gotten anything that was bad. They've done some cool stuff too now, where they've got some randomly sized ones that you can get.
That's what I got.
Okay.
It's all different size. Like I've got I got big ones, I got small ones.
Because I got like the variety pack. Yeah, right.
Bag of dicks.
We're laughing, right? Hey, phalluses.
No, because he could say bag of dicks. That's a fast food restaurant in Seattle.
Yeah. Also,
Dicks, really?
one of Dave's Primaris characters is now called Phallius.
Oh, okay.
He's not. I mean,
He is now.
He is now.
Yeah. Sorry, dude. You don't get 100% say in this.
damn it, I hate this game.
No, we're gonna.
It's only what your
competition.
opponents are willing to call him.
Yeah.
Hey, is that Phallius over there? No, I left him at home. All right, so that's
that's
Phallius Jr.
is that
he didn't clean the death blades.
Oh, man. Anyway, so Gamers Grass.
you got a website or anything for him?
Yeah, they have a Facebook group
Okay.
that they show off their new products on,
Yeah.
and it's gamersgrass.com.
And then mine's is just chessx.com.
Yeah.
ChessX.
So the only thing I don't like about Chessix is, and I've seen the tons of Chessix dice, the customized dice made, and they all look amazing. But it seems like it's a giant hassle to connect with them and set it up. Like in this day and age, like their website should be better than.
Oh no,
is.
it's super easy. So just to kind of, please send me free dice Chessix. But all you do is there is an order at chessix.com and you email them, hey, I want this picture on this dice facing in these colors, which is what I sent them. The very next day, I got an email back that said, hey, that's great. I can definitely do that, except I can't do this color. Here are colors that I can do with that dice, with that option. So I sent back, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this one instead. And then like, okay, it's going to be X price. I think it was like $195 for like almost 400 dice. And they said, all right, just PayPal us the money and I'll get started on it right away. It'll be done in 8 weeks.
Like, here's an
Wow.
invoice. Like,
It was
it's
super easy.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I understand what you're saying about like having to email being a pain.
Well, yeah, but it just looks really confusing.
Yeah,
you know?
The website isn't the best, but the guys there, super friendly, super helpful, seem genuinely excited to help you create this stuff. Like the thing he signed off with was, and like I've done this before for Heresy for my Imperial Fist dice. Both emails I sent up like, I'm really excited to get started on your project.
Yeah.
So I'm like super. So yeah, I can't say enough nice things about Chessex. As long as their dice roll well for me. Dave, what cool company would you like to pump out?
I'm actually going to talk about Chapter Customizer. They are the anybody that's seen my models knows that I had to. I'm not the best at painting individual symbols, and I wanted to kind of go with the racing horse head for my Primaris chapter. So I contacted Martin from the Warhammer team. Said, I've been told these guys are good. So I checked with them, and I went to the website. It's chaptercustomizer.com. And you just pick the bundle that you want. They've got a ton of different stuff on there. They've got a lot of stuff where you could even get, like Shapeways printed stuff.
Oh,
like
cool.
They will also make your own design on that if you want to have your own kind of pauldrons and stuff made. They won't do anything that is copyright in the slightest, or even try to call it something different. But I got a sheet of it was like $15 for a custom decal sheet that I could request what sizes I wanted on it. For all of the models that I got, then shipping, and it was fast too. And the thing is, I had to so when I suggested my design to them, I said, I want this. It's like we said, like he came back to me and he was like, that design's not going to look very good on a Space Marine shoulder pad. What about this? Sure. And we emailed back and forth for like 3 or 4 days about it, and until settling on a design. And then he was like, cool, I'll draft this up. And then he sent me another email and was like, this is what it's going to look like. What do you think? And I went, why isn't that, in process already? Let's go. That's
because you got to pay.
So good.
I'd already paid.
Oh,
I bought it first. So I mean,
because you got to pay more. The design services.
I didn't. The design services were actually included. It was amazing. Like
that's awesome.
The symbol that I have, he actually designed for me. So, they good stuff.
Really cool.
I highly recommend them.
Nice.
That's Chapter Customizer.
Yep.
Chapter Customizer.
.com.
.com.
Yeah.
Cool.
Well, I'm going to take one more quick break, and then we'll be back, wrap it up, and then get on out of here.
Wrap it up.
Oh, no, that's the start. We're going to get this down next time.
Dude, I'm
this.
the best. I took first place at another tournament.
First off, stop with the thunder and lightning. You don't impress me. And second, let me check out the BCP rankings. And I don't see you on there.
What?
Your TO needs to download the Best Coast Pairings app and run events on it. After the event, the results are uploaded into BCP rankings, and the best part, it's easy and free.
But I play multiple game systems.
No big deal. The BCP app can be used for any game. A ton of events every weekend are using it, from major international tournaments to local stores. And now that it's available on Android devices, you're going to have some serious competition.
There can be only one.
BCP Rankings is a fun and exciting way to measure how you or your team stack up. No matter what you play, your score goes to an overall ranking, or compete to be the best in a game, a circuit, a region, or the world.
Download the app or visit www.bestcoastpairings.com for more info.
Best Coast Pairings.
Are you the best?
And we're back.
Yeah.
All right, and I'm not going to hit any more buttons. And next time, there's not going to be surprise weird ads in the middle.
Yes, there will.
Just to wrap it up real quick. Yeah, there will. Closing plugs. Follow me on Twitter at MobRulesJohn. Dave?
You can follow me at Alpha Devil in AK on Twitter. And also, just you can shoot me a line through the YouTube channel or which let me know what you want to see.
Yeah,
we'll work on it.
Let us know what you want on there.
I mean, we got
throw some stuff out there.
We got Danny. If you want, we'll slap him in a coconut bra and make him do the hula.
I can do that.
Yeah, and like I said, Danny is a top level competitive 40K player. He also has a blog that is sometimes updated.
Yeah, sometimes I update it. I'm kind of in the process of kind of revamping it. Eventually, I'll have. I'm starting a blog with kind of the rest of my teammates on my team. So we'll have a Fancy Players Academy blog. That will have some kind of like advice, like a list building advice, and
top hat logo or anything, maybe a monocle.
Oh, I think what would really work would be like a graduation cap.
Yeah, sure,
so?
or maybe a taco.
You can graduate from scrub to top. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. You can be something,
but no, that's super awesome.
Yeah, and I will eventually also get some social media stuff going too. I'm just
you don't have to. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
We're gonna give Danny access to the Facebook page.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you don't have to get on Twitter and do that stuff if you don't want to.
No, I want to.
Twitter is actually amazing. So Twitter.
Don't.
I will say, like for me, Twitter has been a way. Like I've seen so many great models, so many great conversions.
Oh yeah,
I've made so many great connections. Like a retailer, like in the lower 48, to people in the UK.
You can spout his name.
It was escaping me. Mini Stomp. Great guy. He hooked me up with my Eldar army.
Oh, cool.
Like he was like cheaper after shipping, and the shipping was expensive. So
yeah, nice.
It was like set. But Twitter's really good.
Yeah, I've been meaning to like try it out because honestly, I've never really used it before.
Yeah.
And as somebody who works kind of in the technology field, I feel like it's something that I should at least know how to use, like even peripherally. So it would be a good experience.
Yeah, Dave's way better at it than me.
Well, so I got on Twitter back when you issued the challenge to Phil and Ted when they were here to get on Twitter, and like it was who was going to have more followers, Phil or Ted, and I was like, I'll get on Twitter and support Phil.
Why did we not do segments?
I don't know. How could you not?
Where were you on that one?
Oh, but now that they're both away, they can do segments of Phil and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
They need to do that. Oh my god, that needs to go.
Hold on. We could just script that up and be it fake.
Yeah. Can we do voiceovers for that?
Get some.
It would just be.
I can woo really loud.
Like woo.
But yeah, so I got on Twitter solely to do that, and within like 2 weeks of me being on Twitter, I had more followers than both of them at the time, and I was like, well, all right, these guys are bad at this because it really doesn't take any work to
it's
get
just like
followers on Twitter.
It's just like networking at work. That's the worst part.
Oh yeah, I'm okay with that.
It's good. Okay. So I mean, this has been Mob Rules.
Yeah.
Please let us know what you think. What do you want to hear? And I want to point out, like, even though today we didn't really talk about it, lore is not going away. We will always talk about lore. Something we're super interested in. Next time we're going to be talking about Harlequins.
Yep.
A little bit of Harlequin lore, a little bit of how the army works. Kind of our intent is to kind of bring the game and the lore together at this point.
Technology advances.
Sandwich.
Maybe, and sexy sandwich. And then we're going to talk about some technology that can help your game as well.
The only thing that is in fact going away is unboxings.
Well, people enjoy them.
Yeah, but I can't afford to buy that stuff.
And I can't afford to buy that stuff. We're not hooked up with GW anymore.
We're working on it. We're working on it. We'll see what we can do.
We might do some stuff here and there. But like I said, let us know what you want to hear in the podcast. Let us know what you want to hear on the YouTube channel. Or here. Yeah, because it's going to be black pictures. Let us know what you want to see. We're pretty much open to anything. We really love making content for you guys, and I appreciate you coming back like a beaten puppy every 2 weeks.
We held out a Danny treat, and they came a running.
Or they ran away.
Potato.
I mean, we'll figure it out in about a week. So yeah, I guess so for episode like 76 of Mob Rules.
Yep.
Or like, comic wise, like 70 or like volume 2, episode 1. But man, that would confuse iTunes way too much.
Oh, be awesome.
Episode 76 of Mob Rules. I've been John.
I've been Dave.
And I've been Danny.
Bye.